What's up, guys? Welcome to Deviant Demos. I'm Rod.
I'm Lego.
And today we're going to install the FXDP Deviant fabrication bags on Lego's 2016 Dyna Lowrider S.
So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Alright, what's up guys? So this is our initial review of the Deviant Fabrications FXDP bags. So Rod, show them what they look like. So right here, you guys can see, man, these things are pretty. And they're extremely light. I was actually really surprised at how light these things were. They're just really, really light. They're made of composite and they're closed mold injected. And we actually had to look up what that meant. And so with closed mold injected versus open mold, closed mold, you're just gonna get a more consistent product versus like an open mold, which open mold, they do like fiberglass, things like that. But these are closed mold. Like I said, they're made of composite. So right here we got locks. They're black. You know, he sends the keys out with them, so you're gonna get two keys with them. And then we got the lock right here, the latching mechanism. We got the holes pre-drilled, so you don't even gotta worry about drilling holes in this thing because they already come pre-drilled. And then we have the latch on this side. It's riveted. All right guys, so this is some of the other stuff that gets sent out with it. So this is a front support bracket. This is the rear support bracket that gets sent out. This is just some hardware. You got low reflectors you can throw on the back or the side. Some washers, and then this is the actual part that gets mounted to your bike that the bag sits in. So it's gonna get mounted up like that, and you use these support brackets. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all this stuff on. All right guys, as you can see, we removed everything. So we removed the shock from the lower side and the upper side, and then we also removed my passenger peg mounts, and also I have a little bunking chain slider that goes right here. And then we did the same thing on the opposite side. We removed my seat, and we also removed on the opposite side, we removed a connection of the battery terminal, and that was just because I have turn signals here. I don't have a full fender, so we're gonna have to disconnect these, and I just don't want to pop a fuse or something, so disconnected the battery. So next thing we're gonna do, your bike most likely has these studs. So this is the stock stud that comes for the upper shock mount. What I had instead of that was I just had this Allen bolt, this huge Allen bolt, and I had frame sliders. These are bunking frame sliders. So I'm not gonna run these with the bags because the bags, if I tip over, they would do the same thing these things would do. So I'm just gonna put these down for now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reinstall these studs. So it's really simple. You can't mess it up because this has like a little castellations on it, whatever you wanna call it. So it only goes on a certain way, you can't mess it up. So you're just gonna do it on this side, tighten it down, it's a 3/4 nut, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're gonna tighten them down now. So right here, you're gonna install these brackets first. What I had to do in order to get them to fit is I needed to take this sander, and I just got a drill attachment. Any kind of sander will really work. You could even hand sand it, it's just gonna take longer. And I needed to sand inside of here because it was just coated with paint. So when they painted this, it just had a layer of paint, and I'll show you where this fits and why it wouldn't work before. So right here, your stud this piece right here is gonna fit over that stud. So when it had all that paint on it, it would not fit like it should. Me and Rod tried this a couple days ago. We just haven't had time to retry it, and all that paint was preventing it from sliding on all the way. Like, this gap was huge before, so now it fits on all the way. What you're gonna do next is you're gonna grab this this other bracket, and it goes over your fender strut. So you're gonna put it on like so, and what you're going to do is you're gonna grab a bolt. This right here is gonna lock it in place so your bracket can't move. Like I said, there's a lot of paint on this, so you might need to break some paint free in order to get it to work. You're gonna grab this this nut right here, and you're just gonna grab another bolt. And what you're gonna do is put the nut on the back side, right? And this thing is just gonna act as a stop. And same thing, thread it. All right, so finally got it to thread. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna prevent the bracket from rotating. I believe that's what it's used for. So just gonna tighten this down. I think the back side's 7/16 and the front side is 1/2 inch. So I'm just gonna tighten this down. And like I said, it's gonna prevent that bracket from being able to rotate too high. So after that bracket's on, what you're gonna do is you're going to reinstall. So you're gonna reinstall your shock. So put your little nut on the top. That's gonna hold it in place. And then you're gonna grab your bolt with the nut on it, thread it through. So what I did in order to be able to just slide this bolt through, Rod, you could show them down here. We jacked the rear of the bike up, and all you do is you jack up the bike until your shock hole lines up with the hole on the frame or the swing arm. And now all you're gonna do is torque this down. So I'm just gonna snug it down for now, and then I'll come back to it and torque it. Good. All right, guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm removing the rear turn signals. The reason I'm gonna do this is because one of the support brackets that you put on goes in this spot, so I'm not gonna be able to reuse this. I'm just gonna cut it because I'm gonna buy a harness anyways. You know what I mean? So don't disconnect it. All right, guys, so in order to save time, because I do not plan on keeping these because I'm gonna switch to a full fender, I just don't have it yet, I'm gonna snip these wires, so don't do this at home. I must have the dullest pair of dikes in the entire world. All right, so if I didn't want to cut that, all I'd have to do is I'd have to trace the wires back, and then I'd have to disconnect them up here, but I just really don't care because I'm not going to keep this fender, and I'm going to get a new harness from Gorilla Cables, of course, because they make the best harnesses. So I'm just going to cut this one because I don't want to mess with it. All right, so that's out of the way. Next thing, we're going to install the rear support. So some of the things that we've done, just to recap, we took the turn signals off, so you can see that's just what it looks like. The bolt's gonna go back here. The wires used to go through here. We no longer do that. So we're gonna put another support bracket on, and I just wanted to show you, this is the bracket that actually mounts the bags. It's really sturdy. It's a wrinkle black, you know, and just looks like it's built really well. So we're gonna end up putting this on. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna hard mount everything, and we actually needed to go pick up some hardware, so I'm gonna go over all of that right now. So I'm just gonna get it to stay. Some of the hardware that we picked up. So right here, we picked up this bolt. This was a 7/16 bolt. It's a, let's see how long this is. 2-inch long 7/16 bolt, picked up this washer, picked up another washer, we picked up a spacer. This is gonna act as a bushing, and then we got a lock washer, and then we also got a lock nut, which we really didn't need both. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put this through. So the way that I did it is I added this spacer, right? And I picked up all this stuff at Lowe's. So it's just a washer, then I got the spacer. So the spacer actually acted as a bushing and it fits in there perfect. And then you just run it through. Got the washer, and then I'm gonna add the lock nut and the other nut. So I'm just gonna hard mount everything right now. And then back here, what I'm gonna add now is I'm gonna add this bracket, and this bracket comes with a stud on it. So to put this on, you know, you just put it up there in the holes where your turn signal used to be. So right here, this bolt, we actually picked up this bolt too. This is a 3/8 bolt, and it is 1.5 inches long. So 1.5 inches, 3/8 bolt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the bracket, right, with your stud facing out. You're gonna put the bolt through. Then on the back side, just another washer, and then you are going to put the lock nut on. Now, if you're using a lock nut, you don't need a lock washer. I just put it up there just because I had it. And then all you're gonna do is put the stud through. And he actually provides this washer and this lock nut. You're gonna put it on there. And then that's all the mounting points for the actual bracket. So if we just go over them again, we got the bracket that we added. We're gonna tighten that down. We got the stud with the nut on it. And then for the forward side, we have the shock, the upper shock. And then down here, we have the other bolt. And we went and got all that hardware. I don't know if we just missed the hardware or if it didn't come with the hardware, but we went and picked it up at Lowe's. I spent like 20 bucks just because I bought extra stuff, but if you pay attention to this video, you should have exactly what you need, and you'll probably end up spending closer to $10 to $15 dollars. The hardware on here, I'll show you. So we got the grommet on the actual bag, and what we did was there's these little metal spacers, so we put them in the center, so when you tighten it down, it doesn't just squeeze the middle of it. And then the way that we got the hardware set up is we got a washer, and then we got the grommet bolt head on the inside of the bag, and then we have another washer, and then we have the nut. So just like that, that's how the hardware is. For the forward side, because we tightened down the back already, and then there was a gap on the forward side. So what we did, I had these little plastic washers, and I just put them there to take up the gap, so when I tighten it down, it doesn't crack the bag. And then all I'm gonna do is tighten down the bottom after this. Right there, bag's pretty tight. It's not gonna go anywhere. So this side's done. And that's what it's gonna end up looking like.
Alright guys, so that's going to do it for the Deviant Fabrications FXDP bag install. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. To be honest with you guys, we really like the bags. They're really light. The frames look pretty sturdy. The install though was not fun. Wish there would have been a little more hardware sent out, but shout out to Deviant Fabs for hooking us up with these sweet bags. We're going to ride with them, we're going to fill them up, we're going to test them out, but yeah, that was the only complaint, was that the install was a little tedious, and plus we're out here in this hot garage, so that didn't help much either. But again, shout out to Deviant Fabs, thanks for sending them out. We're looking forward to riding with them.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I don't know if we just accidentally lost some hardware or what, but we needed to go to Lowe's and pick up some hardware. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It's just it was really, really hot. This install was hot today, probably about 90 degrees. But thanks for Deviant Fabrications. We had our initial review of these bags, and we are going to bring you another review of them, and we're also going to compare them to some other bags. So we got that coming.
So that's going to do it for us at Dyna Demos. I'm Rod.
I'm Lego, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you.